Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. Sorry, let me sit up a little bit. So today I want to just talk about some of the reasons why people hate direct sales, or maybe why they really don't like them. So first of all, I joined my first direct sales company about 7 months ago, and it's been great, honestly, but I would never have pictured myself to be the kind of person that was going to do this. So looking at my past self, I would have looked at my future self and been like, what? Like, no, that's not you. And there's reasons for that, which is what I'm going to go over. So I was kind of thinking about it because, as well as my personal experiences and what I've experienced being on this journey of direct sales and starting my own business with an MLM company, I've come across a lot of kickback, I guess you could say. And so I've been able to kind of narrow it down into like three main categories or reasons why people feel the way they do. And trust me, I've been in each of those three. So that's kind of the authority I'm speaking on. I mean, I'm not an expert, and I'm not saying that this is all the reasons or this is for sure why people feel this way, because I know there's tons of other reasons out there. But these are the three that I kind of narrowed it down to. So I just kind of want to talk about those briefly with you. And if you're one of them, then maybe this will help, and you'll know that I totally get where you're coming from, and I'm not in a place of like trying to chastise you or like convince you otherwise of your feelings. I'm just putting it out there and just letting you know kind of what I've noticed and what I understand it as. So first one I want to go over is they've been burned. So at this one, it comes from mostly the people that have tried a direct sales company or have been with an MLM and it just didn't work out for whatever reason. There's so many reasons, like maybe the buy-in to the company was a lot more than they could handle, and so ended up just putting them further and further into financial burden than it was bringing them out of it. Or the same if they have to keep product or inventory, maybe it just got to be too much to keep up with, and so again it just kind of turned into a money pit. Maybe the products ended up not being for them, and so it's really hard to sell something that you don't truly believe in or that you don't use yourself. If you've ever tried to do that, it's just uncomfortable and it's awkward, and people can sense that. Maybe it was that they put their all into it and just it didn't go anywhere. It just didn't make their dreams happen like they thought it would, and so they have a bad taste in their mouth. Or maybe it's not even about them. Maybe it's a family member or a friend that they've witnessed going into something like this and they saw bad things happen to them, and so they're equally as hurt by it. And then I think that's all I want to touch on that one. The second one, they're skeptical. This is probably where there's the biggest amount of people in this one, and this is where I was for many years. This is the category of people that haven't tried direct sales and haven't been a part of an MLM, but they really don't have any interest to it all, and they don't have any interest in learning more about it or talking to people about it. They're just kind of immediately turned off. And I've had a lot of those people during my own personal direct sales journey, kind of the figurative door slammed in my face a lot. But you just keep going. And that's like a video for another day of why I keep going, even though it gets shut down a lot. But the reason that these people in this category are skeptical is because, well, there's a few things. First of all, there's many different ways to do direct sales. There's what I think the good ways, and then there's like the bad ways. And I think it's the bad ways that we are exposed to a lot more, and it's those ways that just stick with us a lot more for some reason. And so we're just like automatically influenced to just, what's the word I'm looking for? To just be turned off, I guess. And so people are skeptical. People are skeptical either of the products, just that they don't really work, they're really not that great. People are just trying to get their money or get them to sign up or whatever the reason is. Maybe they're skeptical of just the setup itself of the business. Like, yeah, okay, people can't make money just selling products and they can't turn it into a full-time income. Like, no, it's not a real job, like whatever. My biggest hang up with it all the time was I thought it was just a big scam. Like it was just something to try and get people to sign up and do this, even though they didn't really want to. And I just didn't like it. I didn't want anything to do with it. And then that kind of brings me into my third reason. I'm rushing through these because I actually did a whole blog post on this that I go into more detail of the 3 reasons, but I just thought a video would be good too, to just hop on and kind of summarize my blog post. But I'll put that in the description bio if you want to go in and really dive into this and read it. But the third reason that people don't like direct sales is that they want in. So this one's kind of like, what? Like, that doesn't make any sense. But again, I was at this spot. I was following a girl. She was like a friend of a friend that was part of a, sorry, my hair is just driving me crazy right now. She was a friend of a friend. She had started a direct sales business, but I think when I started following her, she'd already been a part of it for some time. But it kind of taken over her life a little bit. And at this point, I was in college, I was newly married, I was pregnant, and we were poor. And so her always flashing her lifestyle and all the money she was making and all the things they were doing with it, like, yeah, it was appealing to me, because I was like, yeah, I would love to pay off our student loans. I would love to buy a house. I'd love to buy a new car, all these things. And I just kept thinking, like, well, what if I could do this? Like, maybe I could. And then I just kept going back, like, no, like, she has gotten lucky, or she has the personality for it, or she got in at a good time. Sorry. All these different reasons of me. And then it just turned me into being envious of her and just kind of evaluating my life and kind of hating my circumstances and always being stressed out about it. And so part of that was kind of that jealousy, that kind of aspect of, I hated it because I wanted it, but I just didn't want it in that way. And so I think that that's another small category of people, that they hate it because they feel like it is a good thing, but it wouldn't work for them. Like, they personally couldn't do it, but that person can do it. So it just creates that disconnect, you know? So basically my summary in all this is that there's many different reasons and backgrounds that people come from for not liking direct sales and not liking the people that do them. My kind of takeaway for this, for my followers and everything, is that, first of all, not all direct sales companies are made the same. They're all set up very differently. They have different compensation plans. They have different requirements. They're just different. They are. Even the people are different. The people that run them, the people that are a part of it. And then even within that, there's lots of different ways to do direct sales. So even if the companies were the same, people aren't going to run them the same. There's some people that are very pushy about it and they do let it take over their life. And then there's other people that just naturally absorb it into their life, and they just want to share the products because they really do love them and they think that they're great, and they really do think that their neighbor and their sister and their great aunt would love these products. So they really just want to share it, and it's not necessarily about the money for them. And so I think that's something we need to keep in mind going forward, to try and shift this conversation about direct sales into a more positive one, of seeing it as like, hey, there is a lot of good at direct sales, but it does change people's lives. I'm sorry, I'm getting all clogged up. Not because I'm crying, because there's something in my throat. Anyway, that there's a lot of good in direct sales, and there's a lot of good people in direct sales, and I think that we can't be so quick to judge that it's all the same and that every direct sales consultant is the same. So that's kind of my hope for going forward, and that's definitely the place that I'm at right now. I love supporting any MLM company. Maybe not any. There's still maybe a couple out there that I just don't agree with, like their products or their setup, but I've done my research on it, so it's okay for me to have that opinion. But that's all. This video went a lot longer than I wanted it to, so I'm sorry, but if you're still hanging out to the end of it, then thank you so much. You're my biggest fan. But again, if you want to read kind of more in depth about this, check out my blog post, and have an awesome day.